Our next speaker and fellow classmate, Akshay Desai, has distinguished himself through his extraordinary accomplishments. The one he is most proud of is his first-place essay for the National Council of Teachers of English writing contest. In addition, Akshay was one of 2 delegates from Kentucky selected to go to Washington for the United States Senate Youth Program this year. He is also a co-valedictorian, a National Merit and Presidential Scholar, member of the Courier-Journal All-State Academic Team, and National Honor Society. Also, Akshay has held the office of Vice President of the Veterans Administration Medical Explorers. It is my pleasure to introduce to you a future Princeton Tiger, Akshay Desai.
Dr. Walton, board members, honored guests, and fellow students. From this rather lofty location, I can sense the anticipation, the excitement, and the relief in each of you, the members of the graduating class of 1988. I can see the pride and joy in the faces of each of the parents as they eagerly await the presentation of diplomas, the close of this chapter in our lives. And I can hear the sighs of relief of the teachers, ready for a vacation after these seemingly endless final weeks of school. I think I represent the feelings of the majority when I express my jubilation at having completed high school. At such a time, it is difficult and perhaps even painful to look forward to the future, to face the reality of life after high school. To date, we have lived as members of a group, finding refuge and comfort in the numbers who share our predicament. As we exit this auditorium, however, our unit disperses, leaving in its place numerous individuals, each with different plans and goals. And as individuals, we have an obligation to take initiative, to act in the ways to which we have grown accustomed, no matter how much the rest of society pressures us to do otherwise. There is immense pressure to conform, to specialize, and to compromise, to which we all will succumb to a degree. Yet at least one aspect must be immutable, must never be compromised, and that is the integrity of our individual characters. President John F. Kennedy once declared to the Massachusetts State Legislature, "When at some future date the High Court of History sits in judgment on each of us, our success or failure in whatever office we hold will be determined by the answers to 4 questions. First, were we truly men of courage? Second, were we truly men of judgment? Third, were we truly men of integrity? And finally, were we truly men of dedication?" As Kennedy explains, what is of paramount importance in each of our lives is the strength of our character. Our judgment by future generations will be determined not by the amount of money we make or don't make, but by the degree to which we demonstrate integrity and determination in the pursuit of our goals. The truth in Kennedy's words is readily apparent. We remember many individuals almost more for their character than for their accomplishments. President Lincoln we note for his honesty, his determination, his integrity, almost as much as for his involvement in emancipation. President Kennedy was killed very early in his presidency, before he was able to implement much of his new frontier. Yet, we remember him as perhaps one of the greatest presidents for his energy, his vision, his leadership, and his patriotism. We have our models then. Perhaps it is a little ambitious and presumptuous for me to ask you to be a Lincoln or a Kennedy, but I think the principle is still valid. Those individuals who are of greatest benefit to society are those who do what they do with character. Ivan Boesky got away with millions of dollars through illegal insider trading on the stock market. He's now serving time in prison. We will remember him not for his wealth, but for his dishonesty, his poor character, his low ethics. Kind of a waste, it seems. So, the moral, if there is one, is to simply make an effort to emulate the numerous examples of strong character which do exist, by accessing the integrity and determination we have within each of us. On a more personal level, this means applying ourselves to whatever we do with total concentration, total dedication, that we might be proud of what we accomplish. It means allowing our conscience to guide us in our actions. Simple principles, which I realize are much easier verbalized than put into practice. But striving toward an ideal or a goal with persistence is the surest way of achieving whatever one desires. In my years at Henry Clay, I've become quite attached to the philosophy and idealism of the Transcendentalists, whose writing reflects the values of my Eastern upbringing. One of them, Henry David Thoreau, has this to say of determination. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Here, in a sentence, is a clear statement of the value of determination. This podium is somewhat conducive to sermonizing or instruction, but even rationally, persistence makes sense. If we attack our vocation, our talents, our education, with the intent to give our best, success is inevitable and imminent. Each of us has the ability to succeed within him, and those who do achieve will be the ones who access the energy inside and strive for success. Determination is but one facet of strong character. Perhaps the greatest character challenge in modern times is not to our dedication, but to our morals and to our conscience. Many individuals have sought to reach their goals through abuse of the system. Even our Attorney General, the defender of justice in our country, is suspected of numerous indiscretions. The me generation, which has dominated this decade, seems to stress personal welfare far beyond societal gain. What is necessary then is a revival of conscience, of morality, not in a religious sense, but simply in terms of man's treatment of his fellow man. In our years at Henry Clay, we have been enriched not only academically, but also personally. The exposure to a wide array of students, faculty, and other individuals with strong character has allowed us to form our own value system and sense of integrity which will help to guide us in the future. By simply following the priorities and moral standards which we have nurtured throughout high school, success will naturally follow, and we will naturally contribute to the upward swing of morality in society. What is essential then is to maintain those values, to never compromise our principles, and to remain individuals. Thus, the parchment we receive momentarily closes this segment of our lives only to open a new one. We have cultivated the skills necessary to face the crises we will confront. The important thing to remember is that we have those skills, that we can succeed. More than likely, we will meet several obstacles along the way, causing us to stumble or perhaps even to fall. Yet, if we continue to pursue our dreams with persistence, with strong character, success is inevitable. The poet Langston Hughes once questioned, "What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun?" Let us not find out. Don't let dreams die, however hopeless the situation seems. Persistence has brought us this far, and it will carry us forward. Don't let up. Keep reaching. There's always more to achieve, more to discover about ourselves. In closing, as we embark upon new challenges, let us recall Robert Frost stopping by the woods on a snowy evening, as quoted by President Kennedy in his inauguration. "Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises left to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep." We've made it this far, but much remains to be accomplished. Good luck in the future, and thank you all for 3 wonderful years.